Arguably, one of the most insufferable protagonists in literature is the title figure in Johann Wolfgang Goethe's The Sorrows of Young Werther, a martyr to unrequited love who ultimately commits suicide. The author soon distanced himself from this early work, despite the fame it brought him. No doubt that was largely because the fuel it provided for the subsequent Romantic movement, which he disdained, proved so flammable. There arose real-life cases of copycat self-annihilation amongst readers who fancied themselves as theatrically bereft as his hero. Few beyond academics now are likely to recall the huge cultural impact the book had a quarter millennium ago. Still, you needn't be savvy to that historical footnote to enjoy the new Young Werther, though it does help. Based on the smash hit 1774 novel of tragic romance, as opening on-screen text announces, José Avelino Gillis Corbett Lourenço's debut feature is a confident, clever update. Its own jeune homme figure again suffers the torments of an impossible love. But here he finally learns what his predecessor couldn't, that the world does not end when you don't get what you want, and insisting it should is the height of selfishness. Lionsgate has released this sprightly Canadian comedy to U.S. theaters, digital and VOD platforms, introduced wounded under a linden tree like his literary model, moaning, "I'm probably dying, all because of stupid love." Our 21st century Werther, Douglas Booth, recalls the events that got him here. Scion of a wealthy clan in Montreal's upscale Westmount suburb, he had come to Toronto with hypochondriac bestie Paul, Jauhar Ben-Ide, on what was anticipated as a short errand, retrieving a family heirloom. Soon afterward, he'd planned going off to Europe for expat adventures, gathering materials for my memoir. He tells an uncle played by the kids in the Hall's Scott Thompson. Yes, young Werther is an aspiring author and fully egotistical enough to assume he'll provide his own best subject matter. But that feckless self-absorption is rerouted, if not extinguished, by a chance sighting of local resident Charlotte, Alison Pill. Nothing if not hubristic, Werther pushes into her conversation with younger sibling Sissy, Iris Apatow, and friend Melanie, Amrit Kaur, and exerts sufficient charm that he's invited to her birthday party that evening, albeit by the already crush-struck sister. Charlotte herself, a somewhat grumpy customer who's spent most of her life raising 6 juniors after their shared parents' deaths, doesn't really want this fate at all, let alone some cocky stranger's company. But smug as he can be about it, Werther is handsome, funny, and persuasive, such that even she ends up having a rare good time at the party he almost single-handedly spark into raucous life. By nights and the attraction is mutual, but Charlotte confesses she's already engaged. Werther decides not to be disheartened by that, or even by the realization that her lawyer fiancé Albert, Patrick J. Adams, is a formidable rival who's well-off, attractive, professionally accomplished, good-natured, and morally upstanding. So W appoints himself their mutual new BFF, insinuating himself as a harmless pal, even as he gets his real target to grasp that her workaholic beau is a lot less fun than new guy. Of course, the lure as well as the limitation is that Werther is a puppyish man-child, enamored with his own bag of tricks. Albert is an adult, which may not be so entertaining on a night out, but seems the more logical choice for a sensible person like Charlotte. Lourenço's script strays farther from Goethe as it goes along, orchestrating a crisis in which semi-repentant Werther tries to do Albert a favor that is catastrophically wrong-headed. This triggers further events leading to that linden tree, and to the protagonist realizing the errors of his ways, which by then have gotten their hot air balloon deflated by a litany of hostile notices. He's been called a narcissistic Lothario, a stalker, pretentious and juvenile, etc., all to his sulking pretty face.